Winning the ball around the contest. The coaches pointed that out. We were talking about that throughout the period, but I don't see the energy. Once they've got the ball, they're not running hard forward. They're pushing back, which is easy to do, but then you've got to go for the hard yard where you might only get it 1 in 10 times.
There's Howlett with a win out of the middle, although Hill got on the end of it. He pulled that back in nice when he realised it was going to be cut off. Look at Hill. The evasive footwork in the middle was good to watch. Duffield now goes wide to Ibbotson. Along the ground, it's going to allow an opportunity for Hooker to pick it up. Look for the give back. It's a long kick from Zaharakis without great direction. McFarlane.
Well, it was a non-kick. It was an unthinking kick. And you might as well scrub that from the stat because it's going to come straight back over Zaharakis' head.
Hill's ball was partly gobbled up by Cramery. De Boer went in for the tackle. Clark with the handball out wide. Lower is in there. So was Duffield. They're all there. Hill, but can they extract? They do. And now an opportunity. Broughton has a little bit of space and time on his non-preferred side. Good use. Griffin could have gone, but he realised he was a ruckman, and they take a little while to make those decisions.
I guarantee you, BT, that ball wouldn't have come out of the Essendon forward line 5 weeks ago. The fanaticism of their defence in their forward line is just totally gone.
That's the difference, isn't it?
Yep.
Absolutely. Agree wholeheartedly. Pavlich.
You've got to find that solution somewhere, or that energy to get their game restarted.
Pearce to Hinkley was magnificent. And now Hill, a little one over the top, and Heppel gets back. Can they find that fanaticism to lock the ball in and attack when the opposition's got the ball? Because at the moment, it's Fremantle doing it, but not the Bombers.
Well, there's no question it's warm out there, but it's warm for both teams. And one team is coping with it pretty well, and the other side, I think, it's getting in between their ears. Jono, it's hot, we've travelled, we've got this, we've got that problem, and they're not focusing on winning the ball.
Hill with a palm down that went straight to Hinkley through a bit of traffic there. Cramery bounces off him. Zach Clark got a tackle that slipped high.
Yeah, it's a good call from here. Looked like a one-handed shovel.
So McVeigh, who was in consultation with the coaching staff at quarter time about where the side was at, getting some direct feedback from one of the leaders out there.
That's the difference at the moment. Broughton then leaving his direct opponent to go help out his teammate. Creates a spoil. They get a stoppage, and this is the area of the game where they're on top at the moment.
James Hird in the box here at Patterson's. Knocked down. There's Watson trying to do some damage. A good get and a good win in the end as the Bombers go forward for one of the rare opportunities, and Hurley and Ryder beaten to the action. That time getting in amongst them was Anthony Grover. Good crowd in today, some 35,500 here at the moment. Griffin over the top. De Boer. Zaharakis there. Double tackle on him. Cramery went to ground. And the umpire can't wait for that one to go over the line.
Essendon wouldn't mind this, Jared. The fact they've been able to slow things up a little bit.
Just hang on a sec, John. Just have a look at McVeigh pushing off Zach Clark, preventing him from going up as third man up.
That certainly would have been identified at quarter time for sure.
An eye for detail has our own Jared Healy. Out of defence here come the Dockers. Kick wide, so they get a chance to reload here, the Bombers. Now, can we see what Jared was talking about here? The opportunity to lock the ball in their forward end of the ground and the fanaticism to keep it there and give themselves multiple opportunities.
Interesting matchup now, though. McVeigh is going with Zach Clark. And here's Zach Clark again, trying to go up third man up. McVeigh just trying to take his run. Yeah,
edged him under, didn't he, so he couldn't jump. Myers around the corner. Handball, Cramery, Heppel. He wanted Welch to go wide, and he did it.
Brilliant lower.
Now, Griffin, handball, Main, run, Clancy, Pearce. Little chip out of the Pav. In the middle of the ground, he's got the run of Main. He can go a long way. Hardingham going to close him down. Main takes him on, tries to get around. Hardingham went straight at him. Brilliantly done. Johnson with the leap over the top. Interrupted in his run. And now Ballantyne's got it all to do. Magnificent handball. Johnson will run in and kick his first goal. Hayden Ballantyne, take a bow.
Exceptional goal, a couple of brilliant efforts. That one in particular, a lot of blokes go in higher. Nick went in lower, and he got it nicely smothered, and it went forward. This is terrific defence. Didn't quite bring him down. Really good defence, so. And Johnson, well, he's worrying him, Fletcher, a little bit, but Hayden Ballantyne's effort here was first class, and he really is worrying Slattery.
He certainly is. His movement, both him and Johnson, they're the difference up forward for the Dockers at the moment.
Have a look at this smother again that resulted in that opportunity. You can see Heppel goes to kick, and there's Lower, as Gerard nominated, getting in. Just that, Lower. Talk
about courage, backing back into a pack and all that sort of. That's courage to hold your ground and put your head over someone's boot.
Back in the middle, and Fremantle now have 7 individual goal kickers from their 7 goals.
I mean, it's a skill, Jono, that I'm not sure if it's coached that often these days, but in tight now, people don't elect to kick too often. They tend to handball, and you see a lot of you don't see a lot of smothers like that in this era. It was brilliant.
Welsh got to go. Mede confronting De Boer. Fife to Hinkley. Quickly regained possession. Hinkley gave it to a man in trouble, and Broughton, I think it may have been around the corner. Welsh to a vacant Bomber forward line. McFarlane there, needs a bit of help. Went and got it, tried to handball out the ball. Cramery did well. Collier kick around the body was smothered.
BT, I'll be interested in you following Paddy Ryder. I've watched him a couple of times now when he's been one-on-one with McFarlane. McFarlane's first move is just to block his run and take his run away.
You know why, Gerard? Because there's only one thought in Paddy's in mind, and that is to jump over for the mark rather than get on the instinctive present up forward lead. He doesn't have the instincts of a natural forward, and that is to present to the ball. He wants to jump over the top.
I think you're right. There's no plan B. Once you bump him off his line, he's out of the contest.
Yep.
What do you do then? Do you send him to Zach Clark, let him run around, and then Hurley becomes your second ruckman with Hill?
Well, I think Hill's a better option in the goal square. I think he understands the business a bit better. And, I mean, Ryder's fantastic when he floats in there, has no one on him, and he just is the third man up.
I know Fremantle have kicked the only goal of the quarter, but they have stemmed the bleeding just a little bit here, the Bombers. They've at least forced the contest. Ryder keeping it locked at the forward end, giving themselves second and third opportunities, but not working for them at the moment. So they've got the full ground press on at the moment, the Bombers. And this is where the improvement came from early in the year. Ryder. Watson's in there. Crowley all over him. And so this is another win for the Bombers here. Just a little tiny win in what's going to have to be a big war at the end, because at the moment Fremantle by 38. Repeating, Mundy out of the game, been subbed out with a leg injury. Will take no further part. Got the red vest on. In fact, gone down into the rooms.
Good movement. Good movement, Crichton.
Brisk movement, wasn't it? McFarlane handball himself, got it to De Boer eventually, and now De Boer with the run through the middle as well. Takes him on, tried to run him down in the end, did Hibberd. He was the late replacement for Standard. What a body clash that was. Free kick will be Zaharakis.
Well, Docker supporters have been wondering why De Boer went sideways. Well, he was looked up and there was only Dustin Fletcher ahead, so he had to go backwards almost.
Here they go again. That's not a kick with any thought at all. It set Melksham up, and in fact, it's injured him big time as well. It was a horrible kick. Now Duffield to Fife. Fife gathers with the mark. A bounce along the boundary line. A couple. Now the kick inside is measured to Bradley. Not great. Hardingham read it.
It was a bad kick from Fife. He hasn't done too much wrong for a long time this season, but that was...
Makes up for it there.
That one cost him.
So Fife back on his feet is Melksham now, so he appears okay. The knife Fife from about 70 out. Low drop punt, top of the square, Hill. Can they get it out this side? Jeddah's going to be manned up, and there you go. Forced to kick over the mark, takes up valuable seconds. Can't play on.
The Dockers now putting the press on.
They are. The difference with Fife, that one though, it was a slow kick in. In the first quarter, they were able to get handball receives and get the ball in a bit quicker.
Big torp.
The mongrel torp, up it goes, right of there and over the line. I want to see Paddy get aggressive with those dukes in the air when given the opportunity. And Ballantyne coming on for another go here. He was very, very impressive in the first quarter. Griffin, Melksham went without it. Here is Ballantyne. Monfries did well. Clever little tap out. Howlett on the end of it.
Trying to lift them, Howlett. I've been impressed with his work rate.
Now Ibbotson through the middle to Clancy Pearce. Trying to run him down as Hibbard. Pearce gathers, goes to ground. Got it off here. Mazungu, little chip around the corner. Poise needed. Johnson on the lead. Doubles back. What does he do? Centering ball. Pav's got to go and get it. He's got to beat a couple now. Monfries there. Duffield arrives.
Oh, that's brilliant tackle.
And that is incorrect disposal, surely.
Yep.
No, boundary throwing.
Ibbotson's been the star. He's the one intercepting all the ball coming out of Essendon's forward line at the moment. He's had 13 disposals to this point of the game.
Umpire said the tackle was completed once over the boundary line. Here's Ballantyne, the little man. Left foot around the corner, went through the arms of Griffin. Tough one here for Hooker to tidy up. Melksham met by a double tackle that even hurt Bradley. So Ballantyne says to his mate Bradley, sorry about that, mate, I'm just wound up like a 2-bob watch and he's given me the groggy legs.
Yeah, oh yeah. He can't stand up. He's holding on to Fletcher just to keep his feet.
Stop the play, says
smart
the umpire.
call by the umps.
The stretcher no longer has to be off the ground. Umpires can rule a medical issue if it's extreme. And this is going to be deemed as a blood rule here. So Kepler Bradley will come off, got it right on the bottom of the chin there. See the top of Melksham's head onto the bottom of the chin of Kepler Bradley. Lights out for Kepler.
Right in the chin, and you'd hope he's got a mouth guard in there as well, because some of the teeth would have copped a good rattle.
There he is with the groggy feet. How long since you've seen teeth leave the mouth visually?
Probably Lance Franklin was the last time I've seen.
Yep.
Justin Fletcher, boys, lost a couple of teeth here a couple of years ago, and I think Doc Reed had a glass of milk and put him straight in there.
Pavlich, clever through traffic, just a magnificent goal from the skipper.
There's magnificent stoppage work. This is a bit of a lesson right at the moment, Jono. We're, I think, all hoping that there's going to be a response from Essendon. Coming here thinking this was just going to be a cracking one hell of a battle. And there's that third man up again. Straight to Pavlich. Nobody blocking Zach Clark that time. And Pavlich finding an opening to kick a goal. Look at the boys just giving Zach a smack right in the ear.
Yeah, something needs to be done there this whole quarter. They focused on it with McVeigh, with Clark going up, third man up. But they need to look at a rider, look at someone who can actually go with him in the air and have an impact, trying to spread off that contest as well.
Great to watch the players being fed information, isn't it? Matthew Pavlich receiving advice once kicking that goal. Ryder got the clearance out of the middle, and this is just becoming almost on the border line of embarrassing for the Bombers at the moment. Melksham around the corner with a kick towards goal. Did well in the end to force the draw there. I think it may have been lower. And a rush behind the result. There's the hit to Bradley, just on the bottom of the chin. Completely accidental, of course.
They've patched him up, boys, so he's just having a breather. And
Does he look all right on his feet, Jacko?
Yeah, well, he's still sitting down, so we're just waiting. They've told him to have a bit of a rest and then get up and have a couple of run-throughs.
Here's Fife, got to beat Jetta in the air, and that's a no contest.
Isn't good overhead, this bloke.
Nathan I-5, what would he be in the old scale? 6'3", 6'3"?
I don't know if he's that tall.
You don't think he'd be that tall?
Jacko, is he how many centimetres?
I'll let you know in a minute. I'll let you know in a minute.
There's Hill. Howlett.
186, boys.
And just when you get time, Jacko, just break that down to imperial, if you could.
No, it's 6'2". 6'2".
All right.
More the point, he was that size about, 18 months ago, and I think the Dockers were concerned that he was too small, too frail to play footy. He's put on about half a kilo and he's dominating the competition.
Now, the Bombers haven't kicked a goal here for 35 minutes, boys. Here's Crowley. Sun in the eyes of Ballantyne, lost it completely, and Hibbard, late replacement for Stanton, we believe. Some shoulder issues, I think, worrying him, and also the anxiety, I believe, Jared, with the flights. Is that right? You've heard that or not?
I have heard that, yeah, that he was He was not a great traveller.
Scotty West wasn't a great traveller, Jono, for you, was he?
Didn't like the flights, but took some medication to get himself onto the plane and was right to go after
Brent
that.
Croswell, a star footballer for a few teams, premiership player for the Blues and the Kangas.
Probably didn't travel a lot in those days, though, Gerard. Here's Johnson around the corner to Ballantyne.
But when he did travel, it was always by train.
Now
So
look
he
at
wouldn't have
this.
been much good in this era.
Hayden says, boys, don't even bother leading. I'm in the vortex pocket flank area, and I'm the little man from Mandurah. And given this opportunity, no one's going to get a look at it. So Ballantyne already got one. Will kick it 50 metres. A little bit of right to left. Wind over his shoulder just. Ballantyne, stuttery run up to the near side and a miss.
Need a response out of the Bombers here, though, John Owen. This is just not good enough.
Well, they've pushed everyone up now. They've got everyone right up the ground. As we just go back and you look at Clark there, there's the goal assist, hit to advantage in a dangerous position to the ground. That's the little things like that they need to pay the attention to. That's what the Dockers are doing on the other side with their taps to advantage, their smothers.
Have a look at the foreground here where you want to chip it down the boundary line to a present-up player. Essendon players standing still, not vacating the space, allowing new space behind them. There's Crowley. Just not, you know, when you want to present up and just possession the ball for a little while.
Work rate, BT. We haven't got a stat for work rate, but it's very close to zero.
So where does, as you can see, Kepler Bradley recovering there. Got some hemorrhoid cream on the lips. Not always that tasty. Over the back, Zach Clark. And a free kick to the Bombers. Slattery here for a hold, said umpire Meredith. Just wonder what you're going to say if you're James Hird or Mark Thompson to the Essendon players at half-time to try and give them the necessary direction to regain the correct path, or whether it's just too big a puzzle to hone in on any one or two particular parts.
I think you just go back to the basics, and that's work rate. You know, begins at the stoppages. That's work. That's good stuff. Hill gets it. Gives away a free kick, unfortunately. But you just look at the energy around this contest, BT. This is a group that were playing unbelievably good footy. Pushed Collingwood to, what was it, a couple of goals in the Anzac Day match. Looked terrific.
Yep, was indeed. 30 points in the end, the margin was, but it was very close there at one stage.
Much closer than the results suggested then, but I mean, we're not seeing anywhere near the same work rate. It was evident in the second half last week against the Demons. They ran them off their feet. And I think on the back of what we've seen in this last 4 or 5 weeks, we're going to see Essendon out there recruiting big time for anybody who can run.
Kale Hooker on the line to Hill, and good grab, but even that had to be a very impressive contested mark from Hill. And once again down the line, you can see the players just to the right of screen. See where they present up. You can see Monfries presented up. Now that's the first time someone's got out of the space to allow that little chip relief kick down the line. It was great vision from the cameras, I might add, to pick that up. Here's Melksham to Cramery. Tried to brush the tackle. This is an opportunity. Got to go, Melksham. Just hesitated a little. Hinkley was able to come through.
Not sure we'll be able to get Hinkley's decision-making. Hopefully we've got a camera shot wide enough, but that was superb stuff from Hinkley, a bloke who came into the side today. He left his own man, and he ran 30 metres at pace to make the contest.
Melksham needs to go back and deliver this to the face of goal because he's within distance. Just a little tip over the top. Now, Jetta's got a more severe angle, but is 10 metres closer.
Well, he's the only one working. He deserves a bit of reward for his effort, Jetta. He's the only forward that he's getting up the ground and certainly working back with a bit of space, with a bit of speed. You think of what clubs look at in terms of work rate. One, it's spread from the contest. The second one's uncontested marks to the opposition. And at the moment, it's well and truly in Fremantle's favour.
Look lifeless, the Bombers. Jetta. From the pocket, he's got it working magnificently. That's a goal. The Bombers' first goal since the 5-minute mark of the first quarter.
Well, something out of the wreckage for the Bombers. Can they get a couple in a row to give their supporter base back in Melbourne something to cheer them on and give them some hope as we come to that half-time break?
They need to get this back to at least 8 goals to 3, 8 goals to 4 at half-time now, just to give themselves, to go in with a little bit of momentum, just to give themselves that confidence that They're a chance, Jared.
I agree with it, Jono. Next goal vital.
Leroy Jetta kicks the Bombers' first goal since the 5-minute mark.
There he was, Hinkley, just coming from his man, who there he is on screen. He was 35 metres off the play, and he came across. That's what they're doing differently. They are supporting each other far more, the Dockers, than the Bombers are at the moment.
Hill trying to work it out of the middle. And that'll be a Bomber clearance in the middle. So here is an opportunity for them to go again. Howlett wants to go to Hill wide. It's a good-looking kick, but De Boer's going to get there. Mark. But that's great hands from Hill.
It's good spread by Hill.
Myers now, a driving ball. Got under it, Ryder. Over the back it comes. And behind.
Just on the recruitment of running players for the Bombers, be looking forward to your segment at half-time, BT, where you might have something for us.
You saw an interesting meeting today, Jared, in the hotel that I was at. I'm not sure. I know the identity of one of the people, and the other person, I'd be very interested to know if someone could identify for me if I gave a description. He certainly appeared to be limping, the player that was being met by the Bomber official.
Did he look anything like a young Eagles player?
He could have been. I'm not a full book on what the young Eagles player looked like, Jared, but stay tuned at half-time. Interesting meeting. I would be amazed if it was the person I'm thinking it was. We're just trying to confirm via way of electronic sources at the moment, Jono. So we can't give too much away in case we're spreading...
Not on the laptop, that's for sure.
...malicious rumours. McFarlane, half-back. Got some news about the travel for the Bombers at half-time as well. And also some volcanic ash in the area. We're going to talk about that, about how we're going to fly home, or either that or we're going to be on the train home, because all flights to Melbourne have been cancelled. There's an opportunity out wide with Duffield. Duffield a chipping ball in. Hardingham went low. Slattery. Fletcher. Just starting to find the contested ball at the moment, the Bombers, and at least draw level in that area. Howlett went back and got it to Melksham. Paddy Ryder's got to jump at the ball. Once again, the kick wasn't good and he's got a free.
That's going to be the challenge now for the Dockers. They've got the Bombers exactly where they want them. They look at the scoreboard, they've got the game in their control, but it can quickly evaporate if they just let this next couple of minutes go at half rat power.
And you're right with contested possession for this quarter, BT. Essendon 33, Fremantle 23.
Gee, Paddy, you've got to take that ball with you there. McFarlane, Howlett, having a crack. Howlett, 50 metres out, open goal square, misses to the left. So just a little bit of opportunity presented to the Bombers over the last 7 or 8 minutes. And after a 6-goal first quarter, Fremantle have got 2 in this quarter with 4:50 remaining. So they have stemmed the bleeding somewhat. And over the top, Hooker to keep it alive. Hill look for another handball. Myers wanted to get back on his left boot. Turned around inside. Difficult attempt from Hardingham. Jetta. Handball over the top. Hope someone got on the end of it. No one there. Mazungu went hard. Slattery then. It was a good hip and shoulder. Got him high. I think it'll go the Bombers' way. Gee, that's a strange decision. It's going to go to Slattery. I thought...
We'll see it here, BT. Slattery comes in. Mazungu going to slap the ball and...
Gave him a little clip then, did he?
Just a tiny clip.
Gee, it was tiny.
A self-inflicted clip.
Slattery. Big opportunity presented here for the Bombers. 50 metres out, real difficult angle. Left footer, near side, minor score. They are the most inaccurate side in the competition. No, they're not, sorry. Fremantle are the most inaccurate. I'm getting mixed up with my sides there. Number 17th in the competition, the Dockers, but they haven't had to worry about that today because they've been so close to goal.
Well, he certainly was taken high, but the issue is who created the collision.
Hooker. Picked up Mazungu. Bradley.
Valentine.
He's got forward.
There's Hayden. He's got to take Fletcher on. He'd fancy his chances. Around he goes. Lovett Murray needed running support. Got it to Pavlich. Wanted it back. Got a little bit close there, Valentine. Now he goes back and get it left side. Skills needed here. High ball. Crowley over the top. And Watson did well. Just used his body to nurse Watson under the ball.
Well, he hasn't got a lot of spring left in the legs, Ryan Crowley, but as you said, he did it really well. In fact, so did Ballantyne and Pavlich.
Because the temptation would have been hands in the back there. Put the hands out, protect yourself to take the mark. It did enough.
Directly in front. 35 metres out for the Dockers to give them a little bit of relief, and he kicks the goal after 4 Bomber misses in a row.
Well, he's done well. He's only had the 5 disposals himself, but now he's kicked 2 goals going the other way on Jobe Watson. So, look, his job on Watson. Watson's been able to get the ball on 7 occasions only. So it's a low output for Watson, and now he's had 2 goals kicked on him the other way.
Three goal to 1 quarter. Crowley's got a couple in favour of Fremantle. A 41-point margin here at the moment. Not insurmountable by any means, but getting near the edge for the Bombers. Hill to Watson. Zaharakis around the corner. Good mark, Cramery. Goes long and deep, Cramery. Good looking ball, looking for Hurley. They've got Hurley back, 1 out in the goal square now. And a boundary throw in deep in the Bomber attack zone.
Once again, it was a Fremantle player back first. That's where we're looking for the work rate of the Bombers forwards to be first back to help their teammate out when he's in a one-on-one contest.
Knock it out!
No one really making a big effort there. The umpire says, well, I'll do it. And Dustin Fletcher's gone in early. There's the physio, Sue Courtley.
Ex-Bulldog physio, Sue Courtley.
One of the very, very good physios.
Did she go at the end of last year, Jono?
She did, yes.
She went out in sympathy with Brad Johnson.
I knew there was something wrong. Had to be some reason why the Dogs are down the bottom, and
very good operator.
Sue was regarded as one of the best.
Sue Courtley, currently working on a few of the Taylor boys with bad backs. Ground level ball here by McVeigh, trying to bully his way out. No win again, so an opportunity for the Bombers again. 2:18 and ticking here. Have a look at Hill and Pavlich here. Hill with the nice old how do you do, hip and shoulder on the sternum of Pav. Big numbers around the ball here. Out in the end by Griffin. Hardingham splits the middle. Slid the handball to Zaharakis. Lovett Murray's got a couple wide. G kicked it high. McVeigh. He's a left footer.
Well, Hill's in the goal square. You might as well belt it in there now before the pack gets there. Now Griffin, too late, she cried.
He fancies himself. Mark McVeigh from here.
Good kick from here.
It would indeed.
Jeff, get a look from the other side, mate. I'm in the pocket here.
McVeigh gets some leverage by running out. Tries to bend it back right to the line. Griffin with the punch through. So 1:38 in the half remaining. Let's go down to Glenn Jakovich.
Thanks, Brian. Just a report out of the Fremantle change rooms. They have sent David Mundy off for some scans on that lower right leg.
Any news on Fletcher going down there early?
Not at this stage, so it's obviously a ploy leading into half-time just to probably freshen him up a little bit.
Scans or x-rays, Jacko?
Scans has been the word.
Opportunity here. Don't know if Fletcher would have gone down there if he didn't need any help. Opportunity for McFarlane to mark, and takes a very nice mark in defence.
No, you're spot on, BT. I mean, Dustin Fletcher plays every game,
yep,
everywhere,
every minute,
any time.
Yep.
So he doesn't take 5 minutes off just to have a rest.
Kipler Bradley playing a good game as well. Here's Grover, and goes out in the Bradley direction.
Small change here. McVeigh's gone to the back pocket, if you like. He's on Ballantyne. And Monfrey's also now in defence. So they're throwing them around a little bit, the Bombers, trying to find some solution.
Here's Heppel. Had a bit of the ball in this quarter, the Bombers, looking for the lead of Cramery. Just a little too full on the kick. And in the end, the best defender for the Dockers this year, McFarlane, takes the mark. An all-Australian contender for sure, Luke McFarlane.
I agree with that, BT, being my side at the halfway mark.
You a selector, Jono?
No.
Okay. Jack Clark, is that another committee you would like to get onto?
No.
You're on most.
Not as many as Jacko. I need Jared to finish up on a few first.
I'm over.
Now Clark out wide. So the last 15 minutes of this quarter has been very much chip.
Well, you've had Fremantle consolidate. They're just happy to play, you know, stop ball, if you like. Essendon have they got into it, or has Fremantle just stopped their hyper run?
Yes, it's hard to say, isn't it? I think they're just winning a little bit more contested ball here, the Bombers, but not enough to advance on the scoreboard, though. But well, just enough to get themselves back into the contest.
Well, they've done it by having more numbers around the stoppages, but then they get it and they're blazing it into the forward line. So they are unable to capitalise on even winning the ball at the moment.
Their disposal has been ordinary, Jared. No doubt about that when they have won it. Fremantle lead here at Patterson Stadium at half-time by 40 points. 9-4-58 to 2-6-18.